The media gets things wrong. The Packers-Bears game was a prime example of that. The Packers had a pretty crazy offseason, trading away Aaron Rodgers and having Jordan Love really making that transition to being QB1. It's been long awaited, but the future is here in Green Bay. The expectations for the Packers were much lower without Rodgers, for pretty obvious reasons, but they're still good, and they proved that in Week 1. Aaron Rodgers may own the Bears, but it feels like he just signed the title over to Jordan Love. But first, thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring today's video. NFL fans, are you hungry for a win this week? Well, we've partnered up with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official partner of the National Football League, and they've got you covered. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. It's that simple. Just download the DraftKings app and use our code JDPROD. Again, new customers bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings customers can also get into the game with same game parlays, where you can combine multiple bets from the same game for a shot at an even bigger payout. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still get in on the action with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports. New customers use code JDPROD, bet $5 on any wager, and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code JDPROD only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Thank you again to DraftKings, and let's get right back to the video. The Bears are still the Bears. You don't go from really bad to good in one offseason with the same head coach and quarterback. It very, very rarely happens, and there's still a ton of holes on Chicago's roster. The Packers still own them for now and won 38-20 at Soldier Field. Luckily, a late touchdown did make it look a little better, but it was 38-14 with 3 minutes remaining. Green Bay raced out to a 24-6 lead midway through the third quarter, and that was pretty much it. What was really impressive for the Packers is they did it without Christian Watson. The lack of wide receiver depth is an issue, and they didn't have their one. Their top pass catcher was actually Aaron Jones, who had 86 yards and a touchdown. He even rushed for 41 yards and a touchdown too. Romeo Doubs caught 2 touchdowns himself, essentially as the wide receiver one. Then second round rookie tight end Luke Musgrave actually had 3 catches for 50 yards. He looked good in his debut, and that's a big deal because they could use him on that offense. Jordan Love had a pretty good performance, 15 of 27, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Packers defense was probably even better than their offense. Quay Walker had a pick 6, and Green Bay sacked Justin Fields 4 times. He ended up just 24 of 37 with 216 yards, a touchdown, and that lone interception. He was also the Bears' leading rusher with 59 yards. He did kind of have to do everything. It was a tone-setting win for the Packers. The Bears still have some things to figure out, and maybe Green Bay is a lot better than expected, even without Aaron Rodgers. Heading into Week 1, the Packers had the worst odds of any NFC North team to win the division. Now, I've been very pro Green Bay and pro Jordan Love all offseason. I think it's really come down to whether or not you think he'll be good. I remember him coming out of Utah State. I really liked him, and I had that feeling of if this dude puts it all together, he's going to be really good. Green Bay still has a good roster. Yes, there are some serious worries at wide receiver, but they have a good team. On the flip side, I just wasn't buying the Bears. Now, Chicago's a team I'm really rooting for. Honestly, my favorite player in the league right now is Khalil Herbert. I care about the Bears, but that doesn't change the fact that they lost 10 straight games to end 2022. They were the worst team in football. There's a reason the Bears had the first overall pick. That bad of a team doesn't just change overnight. Not to mention the Justin Fields hype. He broke out on the ground last year, but he still struggled passing the ball. I don't know why so many people expected him to just all of a sudden be a competent passer. I don't know if that was all based just on the trade for DJ Moore, but it's not like Moore has ever elevated and been on a winning football team in Carolina. Sometimes offseason expectations get overblown and people just get things wrong. We get too excited or too harsh about some kind of subject. I felt very strongly about Jordan Love and the Packers for a while. I'm very confident in that. Some franchises are just good franchises and they do things the right way. Green Bay had it go perfect from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. They didn't miss a beat, and I think Love's going to be able to succeed. Now, it is totally unreasonable and unfair to expect him to be a future Hall of Famer and one of the best quarterbacks in league history like Favre and Rodgers, but I absolutely do believe that Love can be a top 10 QB at some point. A lot of the Packers' success this season really is going to come down to how Jordan Love performs. He had only started in one game in the NFL before Sunday. It was against the Chiefs, and that was when Aaron Rodgers got COVID. It wasn't anything very special. He went 19 of 34, 190 yards, touchdown, and an interception. Green Bay ended up losing 13-7. Obviously, Jordan Love is a guy that the Packers have been watching close in practice for a long time now. It was definitely a shock in 2020 when the Packers drafted Love in the first round. The Packers still had Aaron Rodgers, who looked like he did still have a lot left in the tank, and he did. It lit a fire under him. He went on to win back-to-back MVPs. Now, he just wasn't going to stick around for the long term, though. That seemed pretty clear, and ultimately drafting Jordan Love paid off. Not only did the Packers immediately have a guy at quarterback, but he did get to actually sit and learn behind Aaron Rodgers. Finally, Rodgers was shipped off to the Jets, and Love got his chance. Now, I have to at least bring up the elephant in the room, which is the Aaron Rodgers injury. It really, really sucks to see him not be able to play this season because of that ruptured Achilles. It also really hurts the Packers. They needed him to stay healthy. If he would have played in 70% of the Jets snaps this year, the Packers would have gotten a first-round pick. Instead, it'll be a second-rounder, so that one does hurt a little bit. The Jets still have a good roster, and who knows if Zach Wilson will really start the rest of the year or what, but I don't think anyone expected the Packers to be better than the Jets this season. That could actually be a case now, though, but the Packers do still have all of the same issues they did when Rodgers was there. Green Bay really needs to get back Christian Watson sooner rather than later. Not every team is going to be as bad as the Bears, and the wide receiver room is bad enough as is. Romeo Doubs was solid, and then Jaden Reed is the 2 as long as Watson's out. There's some new optimism there with Luke Musgrave after he looked really good in week 1. Still, it made sense for the offense to run through Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and that goes for the whole season. Jones had a very big role against the Bears, so I could see that being the case for the rest of the year. That's probably what gives the Packers the best chance to win games. How many can they actually win, though? The NFC North may be a lot more wide open than people think. The clear favorite is definitely the Lions, and they solidified that they're a good team with that win over the Chiefs to start the year. Jared Goff and Dan Campbell have something good going there, but will it be enough to win the division? They are still the Lions at the end of the day. Detroit should probably win it, but if something goes wrong, who is going to be the team right behind them? The Vikings didn't look very good in week 1. They lost to a Buccaneers team that wasn't supposed to be very good. Still, with Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, you'd think they'll be a pretty solid team, and that leaves the Bears and Packers. Chicago will probably still be bad. Better, but bad. Then there's Green Bay. I wouldn't completely count out the potential that they could actually win the NFC North. It's much more likely that either the Lions or even the Vikings do, but it wouldn't be a complete surprise to me if Green Bay came out on top. Now look, the Packers aren't winning the Super Bowl. Hate to break it to you. Even the Packers know that. This year is a season to build. The single most important thing for the Packers this season is Jordan Love. He's had his time to develop and learn the ropes, but nothing is like game reps. We should have some kind of idea by the end of this season if Love can actually be the future in Green Bay. Hopefully that's the case, and if it is, the next order of business is bettering the roster around him. He needs better wideouts. Simple. This Packers team isn't going to go very far until they have better wide receivers or someone like Christian Watson develops into a stud. But that's the beauty. Green Bay's young. They have good players, and clearly the team is already exceeding expectations. I don't know, man. Can you imagine if Jordan Love's actually good? The Packers can't not be good. They always find a way. And I think Jordan Love is the next of a long stretch of Packers success.